contrast to the general belief, statistics show that 1/3 of Everest deaths are among Sherpa climbers. Each year, before the season opens, Sherpa mountain guides determine the safest routes and fix ropes, literally paving the way to the summit for hundreds of climbers before they arrive at Everest Base Camp. Most Sherpa climbers work on the mountain. They guide foreigners to the top, set ropes and ladders, and carry everything from food to tents and oxygen canisters up. These jobs have brought money and development to their communities, but little glory for the Sherpas. For the last 2 years, Sherpas haven't even received the certificates foreign climbers do to prove they reached the top. Gyanendra Shrestha, an official with the tourism ministry in Kathmandu, says the problem is being resolved this season, but sees it pragmatically. Foreign climbers bring a lot of money to Nepal, $11,000 just for the Everest climbing permit. Most Sherpas, he says, are just doing their job. It just happens to be one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Some 290 people have died climbing Everest in more than a century of attempts, according to the Himalayan database, an archive that tracks expeditions in the Nepalese Himalayas going back to 1905. About a third, 94 to be precise, have been Sherpas. By comparison, just 13 Americans, a leading nationality of the climbers, have died on the mountain. During the first real summit attempt in 1922, 7 Sherpas died in an avalanche. Another avalanche in 2014 took 16 Sherpa lives and became the deadliest day on the mountain until the following year, when a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit Nepal and killed at least 17 people at Everest Base Camp, including 7 Sherpas. So far in 2025, 3 Sherpas have died on Everest. Pen Chiri Sherpa, a mountain guide, suffered apparent cardiac arrest at Camp 1 and died days later in Kathmandu. Laring Sherpa died from altitude sickness, and, as we watched in the opening scene, Ngima Dorje Sherpa died of a brain hemorrhage. Some of Everest's bravest workers are called Icefall Doctors. They spend up to 16 hours a day in the icefall, attaching ropes and ladders. 26-year-old Gelyan Sherpa just retired from that job to the relative safety of climbing with clients. I also don't like the climbing into the dead zone, but I'm doing it for my family, because I don't have an education. If we don't have education, we cannot get a good job, he says. As you can witness in this clip, finding a secure way through the ever-changing Khumbu Icefall before the climbing season opens is a risky task for even the most experienced mountain guides. While performing it, the Sherpa team can only hope not to be caught off guard by a sudden avalanche. Sherpas spend much more time exposed to the mountain's greatest dangers. The most dangerous section is the Khumbu Icefall, where house-sized slabs of ice hang and sometimes break off. Most foreign climbers pass through the icefall just a few times, but Sherpas working on the mountain might make 15 to 20 trips, setting equipment, carrying gear, and conducting rescue missions. In terms of overall difficulty, unpredictable weather conditions, the occurrence of sudden avalanches, and the required technical climbing skills, summiting Everest is considered easier when compared with Nanga Parbat, Annapurna, or K2. Unfortunately, this attribute is misleading and causes some inexperienced climbers to underestimate the formidable challenges the world's highest mountain presents. To better anticipate these challenges, let's take a fast drone flight along the south route in Nepal, all the way to the summit of Everest. Keep in mind that the north route, in the Tibet Autonomous Region of China, is even more challenging to master. During the 2025 summer climbing season, in addition to the earlier mentioned 3 Sherpa mountain guides, 3 more mountaineers died on Everest. 44-year-old Subrata Ghose from India died on the 16th of May. After he successfully summited, altitude sickness quickly developed and struck him during the descent, while he was still in the dead zone. The efforts of his Sherpa guide could not save him. Just 2 days later, on May 18th, 2 more mountaineers lost their lives, and created great concern among expeditions that this year's death toll would surpass the past seasons. One of the deceased was Indian Rakesh Kumar, 39. He died near Yellow Band while descending. The Yellow Band on Mount Everest is a prominent geological feature located on the mountain's upper slopes. It is a section of rock that is notable for its distinct yellowish coloration, standing out against the predominantly white and grey hues of the surrounding ice and rock. Mr. Kumar attempted Everest 2 days earlier, failed, returned to South Col without summit, but refused to descend to base camp, instead staying to attempt Lhotse. On the same day, the Romanian mountaineer Zsolt Vargo, who was 48, died after leaving Camp 4, on Lhotse Couloir. His goal was to summit Lhotse. Now, let's join expeditions in different stages of climbing between Camp 4 and the highest peak of our planet. High-altitude mountaineering is undoubtedly a superlative sport. After demonstrating endurance and a strong will, climbers usually experience a burst of euphoria and indescribable joy when they finally summit their target mountain. Sadly, despite today's advanced climbing conditions and overall safety precautions, some mountaineers still die while attempting to climb a formidable mountain. To prevent fatal accidents or deadly outcomes of expeditions, several factors need to be taken into consideration. First of all, a certain level of climbing experience is required. In recent years, there have been cases of city dwellers who are accustomed to taking elevators, attempting to climb Everest as their first mountain. Sherpas are calling for stricter selection of candidates to prevent risky behavior and ensure smoother traffic on the routes. The need to prove a minimum level of experience at high altitude, or to provide evidence of previous ascents of 6,000 or 7,000 meter peaks, is increasingly being discussed within Himalayan authorities. It should be noted that this is already the case on the Tibetan side, where climbers must have climbed a 7,000-meter peak before attempting Everest via the north face. On the other hand, the fact that highly experienced Sherpas keep on dying on Everest proves that experience alone is not enough to survive climbing one of the 14 above 8,000-meter mountains. Hiring expert Sherpa mountain guides from a reputable expedition company and ensuring the best suitable equipment are also factors that significantly contribute to a successful climbing adventure. Still, these precautions cannot prevent a deadly outcome during the ascent or descent in and around the dead zone with 100% accuracy. There are two golden rules that apply to every human being, regardless of whether this individual is a first-time novice climber or has more than a decade of mountaineering experience. Rule number 1 demands that individuals need to know their physical and psychological boundaries, or in other words, limitations. For example, if climbers wake up during the early hours of the day to prepare for a summit attempt in darkness, they should be free of any doubts and bad feelings. If that's not the case, then they should postpone this attempt, descend to lower camps, and perhaps try it again in a few days, when everything feels perfect. To stay alive, and try it some other time is wise, and surely beats the alternative. Rule number 2 is the mindset and awareness that every climber is alone on the mountain. They can only rely on their own abilities to survive. It should be clear that in case of a critically dangerous situation, they cannot expect any life-saving support from the Sherpa guides or other mountaineers, regardless of how many are around. Just imagine this situation. You are on the summit of Everest, and now you are descending. On the Hillary step, you face a traffic jam of climbers moving in both directions, while using the same rope, which necessitates constant buckling up and unbuckling. You realize that you already spent more than 7 hours in the dead zone, and there is still a long way to Camp 4. You start to doubt if your oxygen supply will be sufficient, and if you are going to make it before darkness. Additionally, a sudden change in weather is approaching, with strong winds and dark clouds in your vicinity. Well, who can help you out in such a situation? The Sherpa guide, who keeps on risking his life for a modest wage, will surely try to support you. But if you panic, enter shock, or experience any other severe condition, then he alone cannot do anything for you. A rescue operation for a person in critical condition requires 4 to 6 helpers to reach the relative safety of a lower camp. That means, the only person who can help you is, in fact, yourself. You can survive by staying calm, not hyperventilating, and keeping morale and determination high. On a positive note, the 2025 death toll has totaled 6 people so far, which represents a decrease from 2024, when 8 people died, and in 2023, when 18 climbers lost their lives. Climbing will resume in September, after the monsoon season passes during the summer months. Also in September, the government in Kathmandu plans to increase the fee for climbing permits from the current $11,000 to $15,000 United States dollars. Narayan Prasad Regmi, Director General of the Department of Tourism, announced a 36% increase in the current fee, which has been in place for nearly a decade. The royalty, or permit fee, had not been reviewed for a long time, he stated.
We hope you enjoyed this video and found it valuable. If so, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and leave a comment to share your thoughts on this vital topic. Thank you for watching.